Northwest Arkansas is known for a lot of things, but did you know about their long history in aviation? We're here at the Arkansas Air and Military Museum. We're going to go inside and learn more. Let's go. We're here at the Arkansas Air and Military Museum. I've got Matt Yunkin with me. He is not just a volunteer, but he's on the board of directors as well. And I feel like this is almost kind of a hidden gem. Not everybody knows about this museum and the history that's inside here. So tell us a little bit about it.
It is. You took the words out of my mouth. This is definitely a hidden gem that very few people in Northwest Arkansas or anywhere else in the state are aware of. The building we're standing in dates all the way back to 1943. It's an all-wooden, very large airplane hangar that was built for the war effort. They had what they called the Civilian Pilot Training Program, where a group of volunteer pilots would train people that were going into the Army and Navy to go fight for the war effort.
Why was there a need for that, and why here?
Well, the reason there was a need for that is because the Army and Navy at the time were overpopulated with pilots of their own that they needed to train up. So these civilians would teach people how to fly in the airplanes that were based here, and once they got their wings, then they would send them off to the service, and they would be a step above or a step ahead so they could move into the combat zone sooner. And that's what this facility was built for.
So Matt, this is the Howard DGA-18. Did I say that like I knew what the heck I was talking about?
Absolutely.
I don't, though. I know it's got a lot of history. Tell us about it.
This is the 18th design that the Howard Aircraft Company came out with. Every one of their designs was dubbed a DGA, which stood for Damn Good Airplane. Nice. And as you well know, during the war effort, everybody from the Singer Sewing Machine Company to Maytag to Whirlpool, everybody did everything they could. And so Howard went from building civilian type airplanes, corporate airplanes, if you will, the Learjets of their day, to building airplanes like this one, which was designed to teach people how to fly that had never flown an airplane before in their life. And the reason this airplane is significant, it's one of only 50 that was ever made. It is the last one of its kind that exists anywhere in the world today. And this airplane, this particular one right here, was in this building from 1943 to 1945, teaching our kids how to fly. So this was one of the airplanes that they used in Fayetteville, Arkansas during the war effort. And so it's very significant to our collection, and we're very proud of it for that reason.
So this is the Stinson SJR, the Learjet of the 30s. This is what the big wigs would ride around in.
Absolutely.
Okay, tell us all about it.
Well, this particular airplane, it belonged to a fellow that actually used it to bootleg liquor into Army Air Corps bases in the state of Kansas, because Kansas was a dry state during World War II. So that's what this airplane actually did for a living.
Got to keep them hydrated, right?
Absolutely. So if you would like, we can crawl up inside this thing and you can move the controls and see how all the stuff works to fly one.
I would love to feel like a big wig.
Sure.
Let's go.
All right.
So this is a little bit tighter than I expected it to be. Where did they put the alcohol?
Well, basically anywhere that they could. So to maximize your payload, you would fly it by yourself, and you would fill my seat and the entire back of the airplane full of the alcohol that you mentioned.
Wow. So this is the Learjet of the 60s, kind of the upgraded version of what we just got out of.
That's right.
I'm already liking it better because it's got fans, but it is clearly much nicer. Tell us about this one.
All right, this is one of the very first corporate jets that was ever made. And when I say corporate jets, I mean a corporate aircraft with jet engines. So this airplane goes almost the speed of sound. And you can get from California to Arkansas, where we're sitting, in this airplane in 2.5 hours. So it's definitely a significant upgrade. This Learjet that we're sitting in is actually the 9th Learjet ever made. It was built in 1963. I'm sure you've heard of the Made in America movie that Tom Cruise just came out with a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
That's based on a man named Barry Seal, who was a drug runner turned informant for the FBI and the CIA. And this airplane we're sitting in was actually his personal transport.
Oh, wow. So maybe he didn't have a lot of drugs in here, but he had plenty that were set aside for that.
That's right. He used this airplane to oversee the fleet of airplanes that he had all over the Western Hemisphere, hauling dope back and forth from down there to up here.
So I'm sure a lot of people didn't realize of his many talents, Sam Walton was a pilot as well.
Absolutely.
And this was his first plane?
That's correct.
Great, tell us about it.
All right, well, this is an air coupe. This airplane dates back to 1946. It was one of a lot of very light general aviation airplanes that were designed for guys that came back from the war effort that knew how to fly because of their service career. And they wanted an airplane to fly back and forth to work, you know, or to take the family on a vacation in, much like that one next door. So this air coupe, this was Sam Walton's very first aircraft. He used airplanes as an intricate part of his business to go off and have meetings with potential vendors. Walmart is the largest corporation in the world. They also have the busiest corporate flight department in the world. If the Walmart flight department was an airline, it would be the 5th busiest airline in the world. So this was the very start of a very significant aviation business that employs an awful lot of people.
So much history in here. Thank you so much for enlightening us. I don't think anybody knew how much history is right here at this air museum.
Oh, you're quite welcome. And I appreciate people like you that are spreading the word to help keep our facility going. As you well know, that we're a nonprofit, and we keep the doors open by not only renting the facility out, but also people coming in off the streets to see our collection that we are very proud of. So the more people we can get to hear the good things that we have going on down here, the better.
Hey, are you subscribed yet? You better do so in order to never miss a segment. Click below and subscribe today.